Hello, I hope you're looking after yourself. It's PMDD with C here. And if you're going through Hell Week, I hope you're taking extra care of yourself. Now, if you're new here, I have this channel to chit chat about anything to do with PMDD, whatever pops into my mind at the time. And just, I'm not a specialist in PMDD. I am a qualified counsellor, but I do not specialise in PMDD. So this is more of an interest of mine. So yeah, if you need any advice, please go to a professional doctor, etc, etc, etc. So in this video, I thought we could explore shame. And I personally find shame so fascinating. What it can do to you, what it can do to your body, how it manifests. Shame makes us kind of like crumple up and feel really small. It can stop us making eye contact with, it can hide us away in the shadows. Shame is very powerful. It's out on your cheeks that go bright red when you feel shame. And there's a difference between guilt and shame, isn't there? And so my understanding of guilt is I've done something bad. But with that, you can actually make amends with guilt. But shame, I feel, is more a lingering emotion. It's really kind of tied to your identity as well. It's like, I am bad. I am disgusting. I am bad. And it can be all-consuming. So how does this relate to PMDD, you ask? Well, a lot of people who have PMDD can feel shame, and they can also feel shame through their actions during Hell Week as well. So there's a lot of shame that is tied to PMDD, and I thought we'd take the power away from that today. So I've got an amazing book here. It's called The Language of Emotions, and it talks through all different kinds of emotions like jealousy, sadness, grief, but of course we are talking about shame and guilt. So I thought I would show you this book, and I'm going to read some of it to you. It's by Carla McLaren. At the end of the shame and guilt chapter, it says, if you welcome your shame, you can begin to identify the different forms shame takes, rather than just falling into shame spirals. When your soft and free-flowing ability to effortlessly support ethical behaviour in yourself and others, welcome your medium-level ability to state when you've done wrong and make your amends, and welcome your intense, rapid-level ability to become conscious when you have become something wrong, or when abusive shaming messages are tormenting you. Welcome and thank your shame. So that's quite a hefty paragraph, but I like the last bit, welcome and thank your shame. Take the power away from the shame. There's a lot of self-blame with shame as well. Carl said shame is a soul-eating emotion, soul-eating. How powerful is that image if you really imagine that? There's, yeah, feelings of embarrassment, humiliation, guilt, the threat of rejection. And if we think a bit more deeply about shame and why we experience it as humans, it's a social emotion. So it helps us to keep connected in social groups, and it alerts us to when we might be rejected from a social group. So if we're thinking about tribes in the past, it's a very useful thing because to survive, we created communities, didn't we? So shame encourages conformity, I guess, as a survival strategy, but just knowing the evolutionary purpose of shame doesn't really help us in the moments of shame. So let's think of some examples of how we can feel shame with PMDD. So for example, creating conflict with a loved one or a friend or a family member, a partner during the PMDD phase, that can create shame. So specifically PMDD and shame, sometimes it can feel like a flaw in our system. We can feel shame that why aren't we experiencing our period like a normal person? I should just be able to like get on with life during this phase. Why do I feel like this? Especially if we're undiagnosed with PMDD, there can be a lot of shame around that when you actually know that you have it and other people around you are having a different experience of their cycle. So there can be a lot of shame around that. There can be shame within our behaviour, how we act during the B phase, if conflict is created, if there's an outburst of anger or rage, or even shame when you withdraw from social situations or maybe remove yourself from a social situation because you just need to be alone. You just need that time to be with yourself. And around saying things that you might not mean as well, that can happen during the Hell Week, can't it? And with the shame, there can be self-punishment. So this is where it's really important to practice self-compassion. So identifying how you feel, and if you feel shame, really honing in on how it's making you feel in your body, what you're saying to yourself in your mind, and what your actions are doing is a good step to self-awareness. And then self-compassion as well. You are not bad. You were in Hell Week and that's how you reacted. But then you can also repair instead of blaming yourself and feeling that shame. So I've spoken about reframing as well. So that's where that can come in. So for example, it could look like I was in PMDD week, I forgive myself, my rage was speaking, I am worthy, things like that to help repair that sense of shame that you might be feeling. So judgment comes up in my mind when I'm talking about shame as well. There's a lot of judgment on yourself for feeling like that. And yes, it's tricky because it shouldn't be an excuse to behave in certain ways. But at the moment, if you've behaved in a certain way that consequently ends in feeling ashamed, there is that element of you being able to repair or make amends with, if it's a person you've had an argument with, or if you've said something that you maybe regret, there's that rupture repair element. But then the shame is in the lingering of that within you. So if you can forgive yourself, make amends, and be compassionate to yourself, understand what happened, then that can take the power away from the shame. So I hope I'm making sense. Shame is a very powerful emotion. It does stick in the body, and it really does sometimes control our behaviour. And yeah, so let me know if you have any experience with shame, or if you have any comments about shame or anything that you want to share. Let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.